school of journalism in Leposavić. Maybe that can be some positive, but you know, if we talk about different communities in media, every day I can find something like about some I don't know, news about accident or about I don't know, whatever. Every day I can read Serbs, Albanian, Serbs, Albanian. For some news totally irrelevant, I can see that kind of approach, or how to explain it. We have to find way how to maybe I don't know. That is some of them are media. How to say respectable media, but they also do it. Every day I think about that, how to find a way to fight against it. I really don't know. That is definitely a problem. For example, someone will do news about this TV show and says Serb, Sanja Sovrlić, or it is irrelevant. And I can find it every day in media, and that is definitely a problem.
And very good. I think this brings me to the next question. Okay, we are talking about media. Let's say we have a statement of Vučić, or Thaci, Rama, or Zaev in our media. And what happens is that, like most of the times, it was taken by one media and then repeated by the rest of the media in the region. Yeah. It's like only one media outlet and the rest copy it. Very good. Do we have examples of good stories that are copied and published by the same media if it's about regional cooperation? If it's like, you know, for a guy in Mitrovica or in Leposavić, in Pristina, in Rahovac, who is producing wine, who is producing raki, who is producing something that employs people.
When you mention politicians, sometimes I have really different approach in working in media, and I have actually really bad opinion about media. Because sometimes we should, it seems like crazy, but sometimes we should ignore statements of politicians. Because they know how to have attention. And they, for example, say some stupid sentences, and media started to publish, he says this, he says this, and then they have attention, and other media publish it, and for example, 10 days media talked about same topic, about same sentences some politicians says. We should be more critical, of course, and if they say something, I don't know, not only to actually two ways: ignore that kind of sentences, or find a way to say, okay, this is not correct, this is not right, or you know, that is two ways, in my opinion, how to resolve it. And of course, there is examples of cooperation, and I think there are stories about that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that kind of stories every day, like this kind of approach.
But do we ourselves in
actually,
the region?
Maybe EU or...
No, we are not talking about foreigners. I mean, we are talking about the change that we need to create ourselves.
But about foreign donors, I think.
A new narrative. It's really about us. But good. I mean, that is quite a useful perspective from your side. We are approaching the end, but let's focus on the last, let's say, question and try to basically give some thoughts on it. So how to show positive sides of the Balkans to the world and to ourselves, and what do you think we can do to strengthen media cooperation across the region?
I think that we need to build the capacities of local journalists, and of course media isn't only about news and journalism. We also need to build capacities and give resources to people working in theater, working in documentary filmmaking, etc., because there actually is an increase, I see, of international media reporting on the Balkans. Sometimes it's sensationalist stories, sometimes it's about tourism, and you just can't have, unless it's a voice coming from the Balkans, an international reportage on the region. It might be missing something. It might be missing a local voice, and I see that a lot in international media, especially lately. Albania is really a big topic in international media and tourism. Whereas I can think of so many great Albanian journalists who would also be able to contribute really interesting new perspectives to this kind of writing, but there needs to be more capacity building, more resources to support them. So more of a regional voice so that it can be held up as high as international media when it reports on the Balkans.
You mentioned tourism. For example, I know two interesting examples in Kosovo. You know about North Kosovo. We are in Pristina now, and many people see North Kosovo like some. I don't know. Actually, I cannot imagine what they think about North Kosovo. But there is good music festivals. There is a good initiative called Outdoorin on tourism development in Zubin Potok municipality. There is many interesting places like cafe, bars, or like in Pristina exist, for example. And but you, Faith, mentioned tourism. I mentioned initiative Outdoorin in Zubin Potok, but in Rugova also. And actually, I definitely want to write about Ferrata and other.
That is a regional trail.
In Rugova, for example, definitely we have stories, positive stories, and people who are trying to promote positive things, because I know many of them who are tired of this kind of picture of the region. And definitely we, of course, I agree with Faith, we should cooperate more closely and to work together on this topic.
Very good. Well, we have plenty of examples. I mean, we are really seeking to find those examples, good models of cooperation that are proving to produce important, even though sometimes symbolic, results. But there is plenty that is being done in terms of academic exchange and students exchange in the region. There is a lot being done in terms of developing a regional package for tourism. I mean, you mentioned Via Ferrata, but there are many other initiatives supported quite heavily by the donors in the Western Europe and United States. But the issue is, how do we make sure that, you know, those examples of cooperation, those models, are taken to the media, are becoming part of our normal discourse, that those are not an exception, that don't feature among 100 negative news, but are part of everyday news that we need to promote. we should not forget that perspectives of people are influenced by how media and political leadership are telling them. We've met with young people in the region, and what they believe is going on in Kosovo, Macedonia, Albania, or Montenegro is influenced by politicians, is influenced by media, for which they feel not secure to go and visit those beautiful countries and engage with the people in those areas. So I think I may end the conversation here for today, but with a strong commitment that we are going to continue in the future, not only in Pristina, but moving to Belgrade, moving to Sarajevo, Zagreb, Tirana, Skopje, Podgorica, and Athens, the geographic focus of the Balkan Forum, and we are not going to stop to promote that new vision and new narrative for the region. Thanks very much again. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
See you in our future activities.
And media should know that they have power and should use it in the right way.
You do have power and we do have power. Thanks very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks indeed.
Super.